It is very important to understand, no matter where you are in your healing journey, that to a narcissistic person, to a toxic person, to a narcissistic sociopath, you are an it or a thing. You're an object. You're not a person. You're something to be utilized, manipulated, lied to, discarded, played with. You're a toy. They own you. All right, you're an it or a thing. What's going on, y'all? I'm Lodonis Dragonstorm. This message is going out to Chanu, who put a comment in my last video, Suffer No Fools, which really made me think about back when I was still trauma bonded. And I still believed that the person who was abusing me, lying to me, cheating on me, triangulating, smear campaigning, collecting enemies, creating new ones, lying to people, just distorting my image as much as they could in order to protect their own false ego. And how I felt like I couldn't live without them. You absolutely can live without them, Chanu. That dude never cared about you, right? Especially if you married him. God, if you marry a narcissistic person, they got you trapped, most especially if you have kids with them, because they got fuel for the rest of their life. You have to understand, your love that you put out to that toxic person was yours and was not given back. They faked it. They acted like they cared. They acted just as much as they had to in order to give you a false sense that they loved you, that you were a part of their universe, that they had any kind of connection with you as you felt with them, but you didn't. They didn't. You were loving something fake. You are an it or a thing to a narcissist, to a narcissistic person, to a toxic person. You are an object. You are not a person. Missing them is killing yourself. It's hurting yourself. There's no point in missing them. What you need to do is do the inner work. See, if you were susceptible to a con artist like that, then you had issues, mommy issues, daddy issues, abandonment issues, whatever traumas you went through in your childhood, you had issues that were unresolved and left unresolved. And you might have fooled yourself, actually created your own false ego, created your own false self to protect you from facing the damages of the past. But if you leave that stuff on, if you leave that unhealed, then it will create cracks in the foundation of manifesting your better self, your better life. It's a very important thing. It's something that I discovered. Right? Manifestation. You go for something, you believe in it, you make it happen, you work for it. It doesn't matter how strong of a person you are if you survive traumatic things in your childhood. If you don't face those things, if you don't face and heal those things, there's always a crack in the foundation of whatever you're doing that can rear its ugly head like a goblin or like a troll from under a bridge, or create emotional reaction or reactivity in you that you don't understand, that like self-sabotages. Anything can happen. You got to face that, because those issues are the same reason why that con artist, that narcissist, that narcopath, whatever type of toxicity they were, had the ability to manipulate you. Trust your intuition. Your intuition's been screaming at you. Your connection to God, source, has been screaming at you this entire time. Red flag, red flag. Recognize that red flag. That person's cheating. That person's lying. And you keep ignoring it over and over again when you're trauma bonded. You keep ignoring it when you got abandonment issues, or you have issues that are unresolved, and you keep wanting to believe in a toxic person. And it just makes it worse. Self-sustaining defeat, misery, depression. These are toxic behaviors that some of us as victims of narcissistic abuse had in us that were not resolved, things that we didn't face in order to become better people. So you got to look at yourself. There's a whole lot you got to deal with, because now as a person who's going through that traumatic experience, now you've got to heal what damage the narcissist did to you. But for me personally, I had to be completely destroyed, completely and utterly fucking destroyed, before I was able to become a better version of myself and put myself back together and figure out what didn't fit. Because you're going to know it. Your soul's going to know it. Your mind's going to know it. You're going to feel anger or anxiousness or at something as you begin to heal, as you look at certain things. Why are you angry? Discovering why you're angry at yourself or why you're angry at someone else will help you, will take you a direct route, like a highway, to whatever it is that is affecting your ego, that is not authentic about you, that's going to help you to heal. There's no healing when it comes to that narc. Doesn't matter how much you love them. Doesn't matter how much you try. Look, listen, all that it does matter. It matters to you, but it does not matter to them. And there's not going to be any helping them. There's no repairing that past, that damage. Even if that person with NPD, that sociopath, that narcopath, whatever the types of toxic shit they were, even if they're working on themselves, like, there's no point in you being there. You've put in your time. This is time for you to heal. You cannot, look, As much as you want, any of you watching this, if you're still going through this healing journey, to know, as much as you want to think that your love conquers all, that everything that you did, all the energy you put in and everything that you tried to do, that was never respected, if you think that's going to magically change and that person's going to start spending the time with you that you deserve, being honest with you, recognizing what they did wrong, really feeling bad, they're not going to do that. You're an object. I'm sorry, boo, but you are an it or a thing. My narcopath was on for a freaking year, just like exposing herself. It one and it two, it thing and thing with the dude that she triangulated me with. And well, the other guy, I don't know what the fuck's going on over there, but like all the time. You're an it or a thing. You have to understand that. Once you understand that, let yourself be angry. Go through that anger stage. You'll be okay. You gotta let that anger go eventually, but what you've got to do if you really want to help and heal yourself, figure out why you're upset about forgive yourself, figure out why you're upset. How you let yourself be abused, how you let yourself be triangulated and lied to and treated like dirt. What is it in you that allowed that to happen? Because at the end, we're responsible for our own actions. And that's the difference between us as people who heal from narcissistic abuse and the narcissists themselves. They're never really trying to heal. It's always about shifting the blame. It's always about not taking accountability, making the other. That's why they smear campaign. That's why they do that, because they make the other person look crazy and bad. They've been doing it their whole lives, not taking accountability, making the other person look bad for the reactions to the craziness they were creating. Don't be a narcissist. Don't be a toxic person. Use this opportunity. Use this opportunity to heal, become a better version of yourself, become a better person. You can do it. Chanu, anybody else out there that's healing, like, I understand. I went through it. For years I went through it. Very public display. I lost a lot of friends, momentum, things in my life. But you know what I found though? Like the way I look at it is, I gave this experience value. Because it was cost a lot. I gave it value by working on me. And you can do the same thing. Remember, whenever you miss them, because I understand you will. From time to time, for some nut-ass bag reason, I miss mine. But you have to remember, keep telling yourself, you are an it or a thing. You are an object to that person. You are not an individual. You are never going to be respected for what you put in. They are never going to take the time to give you your due. They are never going to feel bad for what they did. And if they do, they're going to avoid accountability, escape it, and shift the blame onto you as much as they can. You're better than that. You can do this, boo. All of you. My love to y'all. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And never again. Except for that fool. Run!